Hey everyone, I've got a little idea that I wanted to share. It's something that I kind of came to after I'd finished doing my grade exams years and years ago. And it was a way to sort of simplify modes down into one approach rather than thinking of 7 different things. And the idea of it is to kind of make use of all the phrasing that you know, especially in common keys like majors and minors, when you're given something like a Lydian key or a Phrygian key. Often players will kind of clam up a little bit or not feel that they've got enough variety to sort of play over it. But the truth is you do. The idea is to kind of think of them as this kind of umbrella that it all falls under. So I thought I'd use this little example. I've just got the Electro Harmonics pedal called the Freeze. So all I can do is just add a little drone and then keep that going so that when we can play over the top of it. And we're going to use the key of E. So the idea is we've got E or C sharp minor. And so anything we play is going to be using notes from the scale of E. And I'm going to be always thinking about E. I'm not going to be thinking about any other modes at all. And you'll notice that modes are really about the perspective you get by adding different harmony to an existing scale, not the other way around. So if I'm playing a chord of E, and now I play an E major idea, we get a very sort of happy major kind of sound. However, when I'm playing over that chord is making me want to gravitate towards certain notes that are chord tones of that chord. The scale notes still work, but the resolution of what I play is going to be determined by the harmony. Now, if I use the same thing, but I play an A chord instead, we can kind of see that's going to give us a very Lydian sound because the A is the fourth mode in the key of E. If we go through it, you've got E major, F sharp Dorian, G sharp Phrygian, and then A Lydian. I was still playing the same notes. Obviously, modes, if you learn them, they're going to give you positions across the fretboard, but you should immediately bring them back to being positions like you would with pentatonics. You learn position 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. It's the same thing, but with the scales. So while I'm playing this, if I'm playing around with an E major 7 idea, for instance, while that's playing, if I have an A underneath it, we're going to get a really Lydian sound out of that. Now, obviously, if I had an E playing still, we get that tonic, that Ionian kind of sound that we're all used to. So the notes and the way that you play them, the phrasing is still going to be exactly the same, but the harmony that you use behind it is going to create that kind of modal quality. So the idea is to kind of spend a bit of time, pick keys, and see if you can name all 7 modes that belong to that key. So if I did C major, for instance, C would be my 1, so that's my Ionian, and then D would be Dorian, E would be Phrygian, F would be Lydian, G would be mixed Lydian, A would be the natural minor, and then B would be the Locrian. And to be honest, I came about this because of Locrian. When I was doing my grade 8, we had to possibly solo over a Locrian chord progression. I don't believe I actually did in the end. I don't think that question come up, but it scared the life out of me because obviously if you gave me, you know, a natural minor or something, I'd be happy and I'd have loads of phrases that I knew. But if you gave me a Locrian, I just wouldn't have a clue really that I'd have some phrasing. And it was only afterwards that I realised that a lot of the time the shape that you learn for a Locrian would be something that looks like this. You'd have sort of so it's got a minor or flat second and a flat 5 as well. And it just didn't feel very fluent to play. But if you notice, if you actually played that same scale and you just start from the second note of it, so instead of hitting the first note, it's the Ionian, it's the major scale. So it's the scale that we all know how to play over. So if you can relate that back, then immediately you've got stuff that you can play. So if I'm playing in an E Locrian kind of thing, you can kind of hear that's not Ionian anymore. That's got a very kind of dark quality to it. But the notes that I was playing was purely thinking in E major. So the idea is to don't throw your licks away when you're thinking about playing in other keys. Do the work and sit down and just sort of say, you know, what are the 7 modes that belong to the key of D major? What are the 7 modes that belong to, I don't know, G major? Work them out, and before long, you'll notice that you have the freedom to play the phrases that you love to play and you love the sound, but they take on a new quality because of the modal harmony that you get behind it. And I do think of it like that. It's modal harmony, it's not modal notes. Your phrasing's still there, but the resolution will change depending on the harmony that's behind it. So if you sit down and work out your keys and just go by them one by one, it doesn't matter if you do them by major or minor. If you feel more comfortable with minor keys, like A minor is C major. So if I know A minor and I know all of the modes that go that, you obviously know C major as well. So just limit them down and get the phrasing that you love to play and start to use it over things that you wouldn't think to use it over. And you know, then the harmony sort of leads you in a new place, which is kind of fun. So I hope that's been useful. It's definitely something that I wish I'd known before I took my exams, because you know, we only have space for so many phrases in our mind, and certain things we enjoy, so we want to be able to use those as much as possible. And I definitely do that a lot nowadays because of this method than I did in the past. So yeah, have a look at a few keys, see what you can come up with, and start recycling those ideas.